What's going on, y'all? Joe Johnston here from Speaker Scale, here with my man Michael Neese. And yeah, we're just gonna hop in. So, Mr. Neese, I'll turn things over to you and feel free to introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about your work, a little bit about your company, and then we'll get into a little bit about your experience in working with us here at Speaker Scale and what kind of drew you to coming with us and working with us.
Sounds good. Yeah, my name is Michael Neese, and I am the president of Our Future is Kind. We basically try to envision what a kinder future would look like, and then take those courageous, kind actions to make it true. I work mostly with corporate leaders, but also with those who have career turning points, just to help them out and figure out how to have a better, corporate culture, to have a kinder atmosphere and that sort of thing. So yeah, I do a little bit of private consulting. I do an awful lot on stage as a keynote speaker, and that's me.
Beautiful. I love it, man. Tell us a little bit about I know, and it was funny, right? I've told the story often of that. I think we had reached out to you, didn't hear back from you, and then you had kind of been following me and my content for a little bit, and then
Yeah.
you reached out and booked a call with us. So tell us, back when that happened, almost a year ago now, what sort of prompted you, where you were at with the speaking business, and what sort of prompted, or just the business as a whole, what sort of prompted you to hit us up and partner with us at Speaker Scale, and then we'll get into some of the value that you got out of working with.
Sure. Yeah. Speaker Scale was, popping up into my inbox a little bit on LinkedIn. And then I started checking out some of the content, but I just stayed pretty silent because we get a lot of stuff in our inboxes. We don't know which is going to be the good stuff. But once I started checking out the content, once I started seeing you, Joe, saying the different things about how do you scale up your speaking business and how do you make sure that you got qualified leads, not just any old leads. Once I started seeing a lot of value that you were just sharing openly, I was like, yeah, the minute I'm ready to pull the trigger, I am definitely going to go and reach out to you. And so I did. And the thing that prompted me was I was leaving corporate America. I decided I really wanted to pursue being on stage and being that keynote speaker. I've been a speaker for about 35 years, but I was like, all right, I'm really going to do it as my full-time agenda. And there's nobody else that I wanted to support me than you guys.
I love it, man. That's awesome. Yeah, it was I remember too, just when you booked the call and I went and like checked you out and I was like, where did that guy come from? And saw that you had followed us for a little bit and then having you in the program was incredible. So let's chat a little bit about that, just really more of like the tactical pieces of what sort of you got, right? So you obviously are someone who's very good on stage. You have a message that's very compelling and very needed in today's day and age. But again, you sort of, to my understanding, came to us more for that business side of things and how do I land opportunities and that sort of stuff. So tell us, I guess, a little bit more from a tactical perspective, some of the things that you learned and some of the benefit that you got in working with us and kind of going through the program and just collaborating with us.
So I didn't know what I was really getting into as a keynote speaker. Like I know how to be on stage and I know how to have stage presence and get people excited about a message. But there were so many things that I didn't know that the program taught me. And what I loved about the program was that I was able to jump in and just learn, two or three little videos of like, oh, I'm going to learn about the different keywords that I need to be talking to so that people know that I'm serious. I need to adjust my LinkedIn page. I need to figure out how do I do cold outreach on LinkedIn? Because let's face it, if we're making really good connections with people in the industry, at some point it's going to come up. Like, what do you do? Oh, I'm a keynote speaker. And then you do the pitch. But how do you do that? How do you make sure that it feels authentic and right? So it was all of these pieces. And then the fact that you and we would meet, once a month and you would check in and answer any questions that I had. And even without that meeting, we have Slack. And so I'm able to hear all of the wisdom from other speakers who are also going through the program. I'm able to ping you at any moment and say, hey, can you just look over this agreement document that I've got? Or, hey, can you look at my content for just a minute because I'm not really sure this is jiving, and you would immediately get back to me. So those are all the things that I treasured and valued so much, was like, you've really thought this out. I mean, I don't know how many hours of content that you have, but man, it was great because it was self-service when I wanted that, and then I had one-on-one time with you, or I could learn from the crowd, and then you have all of these other great people working with you who would present, Monday mornings here, let's do a mindset call, or Wednesdays, let's talk about how do you do outreach better. And so, yeah, I mean, just a lot of ways to do self-service, but also a lot of ways to be served, right? Just through like tender love and care of all of your staff.
Like, yeah, it's the hybrid consulting model is what we say, right, Michael? And there's different pieces that more folks are going to get out than the others, and really working through and guiding our clients in that process. So I love it. Talk with a little bit about uh if we can start to bring into like where things are at now and some of the results, right? And I know there was, one gig that you had booked through cold outreach through at least the time that we worked together. I know there was another one that came up just from, your past company, and that was a big one. You mentioned as well from a speaking perspective right now, you have another opportunity that's kind of on the plate right now. And here's the thing too, right, Michael? It's like we're also not sitting here, less than a year of you kind of really going full into speaking, saying, "Oh, Michael is this fantastic. He's a great speaker." We're not sitting here saying, "Oh, he's, you're 100% crushing it and at your speaking goals right now." We were talking about that, and you understand that you're planting seeds and it takes time, but also recognizing the wins, right, that you've had over the less than a year. And obviously some of that being from working with us, and also some of that just being you and your brand and your networking and that sort of stuff. So I'm trying to say is talk to us a little bit about some of the wins you had in terms of speaking engagements, and then we'll get into where sort of Future is Kind is at right now from a consulting, from a speaking perspective, and then where you all are going and what you're headed for in the future here.
So some of the things that went really super for me during 2024, I had a couple of gigs. One that was found through cold outreach through LinkedIn. We were able to target the exact right kinds of people who would be interested in my message, who might be interested in having a speaker for a big event. And lo and behold, we were able to find a really good one. I pitched. I felt really confident because I was able to tell them what kind of pricing there would be and then why the pricing was the way that it was. I was able to put together a proposal, like all of these things that, I wasn't really sure how to do. Man, you guys coached me through it great. And I got that speaking gig and went great. And then I've had some people reach out to me since then from just that one gig that was happening back in October. And yeah, so where am I right now? I'm realizing that I've just got to keep putting in the work. Right. I mean, that's the one thing is that like there's a ton of knowledge and there's great coaching that I got from Speaker Scale, but I have to be 100% invested. Otherwise, I don't really see those dividends. And like you said earlier, it's planting seeds. I mean, you don't know which ones are going to bloom, which ones will never come to fruition, which ones are going to take 7 years and they finally bloom into something huge. And so I know that that is on the horizon because I keep having more people, looking at my content and linking up with me on LinkedIn. So I know that that's on its way. Where are we headed in the future? I think that our future is kind, that we've got this podcast that's going on right now, which is another great strategy. Obviously there's a message that's embedded there that's authentic and genuine, and it is also a great way to meet new people and get my content out there. And so having that kind of coaching from you guys was, I mean, it was just really critical. So I feel like, I've got great messaging that's coming out every week, and like I'm just planting those seeds, and yeah, so we'll see where it goes from here.
Building the machine, right? Building the machine that is going to produce those opportunities consistently, while also planting the seeds that, to your point, and I love that you said it, could take 7 years, right? I mean, we've had opportunities that, 6 years in the game, we reached out to them 6 years ago, and now they're finally coming around, and that's part of the game. Not everything happens immediately. A certain amount and a certain percentage will, but also those ones that you just sort of prolong over time and make sure that you're staying front of mind and providing that value, which you do. I love it. Well, talk to us, I guess, Michael, as we start to sign off here, a little bit about where folks can find you, if they want to connect with you, if they want to learn more about Our Future is Kind, if they want to potentially book you for a speaking engagement. Tell the folks a little bit about where they can go to learn more about you and all the amazing work that you and the team are doing.
Well, I am available for keynote speaking opportunities, so definitely reach out. You can find me on ourfutureiskind.com. You can also find me on LinkedIn. You can find some of my speaking demos and podcasts and so forth on YouTube or wherever you get podcasts. You can also find Our Future is Kind. And I'd love to hear from you because my whole thing is trying to serve people and make sure that you are having a glorious existence within your workplace and within your personal life. And we give you those strategies and tools. So definitely reach out.
I love it. Thank you all. Thank you, Michael. Appreciate the time, man. It's great to see you succeeding and crushing and planting those seeds and seeing those wins. So thank you all so much. Joe Johnston again here from Speaker Scale, and we will chat soon.